Harp Techs. My name is Kenya Pollard. I am your HARPSMITH. Welcome to HARPSMITH Benchcraft. This is episode number 9, and my focus will be on the Hohner Marine Band 1896, arguably the gold standard for harmonica customizers. Players from around the world choose this model as their main out-of-the-box harmonica. Still assembled exactly the way Matthias Hohner designed it 128 years ago, are miniature nails that fasten the reed plates onto the pearwood comb. What we know now is the strategic placement of those nails made a significant impact on the air tightness and ultimately the playability of the instrument. So, what's not to like? What's the downside? Well, with extended play, the pearwood comb would swell. The mouthpiece would become extremely uncomfortable, especially for tongue blockers. So the one big thing I am going to do for this episode is to demonstrate how I can preserve the spirit of the Hohner Marine Band 1896, but update it. I will retrofit it with a wood comb that is impervious to moisture. And then I will replace all the miniature nails with a special T3 screw that I sourced from Germany. My first alternative was to use Delrin. This is a DuPont product that I would machine on my CNC routing machine. For those of you not familiar with CNC, that stands for Computer Numerical Control. This is where you draw out a 2D, convert it into a 3D rendering, and then you give the instructions to the computer, and the computer sends it to the spindle. The spindle has a high-speed routing bit, 22,000 RPMs, and it actually makes stuff out of carving it away, kind of like the Michelangelo of the machine shop. This is distinctly different than a lot of the 3D printing stuff you see going on. 3D printing is about adding layer beads of material to make a thing. CNC machine, we actually take away. But I digress. For you chromatic players, remember this? The awesome Hohner CBH stands for Chombier Wong. Chombier and Brother Frank developed the 2016 and also the 2012. This was machined out of Delrin. It wasn't injection molded. So it was so new. I remember years ago when Delrin came out with the material, they had a promo material which showcased Delrin featuring this model. So feeling a little nostalgic, but if you have a 2016, hang on to it. These things are rare and they're awesome, but they're made out of Delrin. So I made a few combs out of the Delrin material, and it was good because it could be buffed up, it was airtight, it had the, because it is acetoplastic, it has that feeling of like an ABS comb would have. So it was okay. It was okay. But what I settled on was a super awesome replacement to the pocketwood made by Dymalux. Dymalux is made of birch veneer layers, similar to the pocketwood, infused with resin, available in so many different colors and patterns. But what I like best about it it loves my CNC rounding machine. So I'm able to produce some pretty cool stuff with the Dymalux material. So for this episode, I promised to keep the spirit of the Hohner Marine Band 1896. That means I'm keeping it stock. I'm not sizing the reed slots. I'm not profiling it. I'm not changing the tuning. It's like out of the box. Okay, speaking of out of the box, let's get a baseline for tone, for playability, okay? And then at the end, after I demonstrate how to do the retrofit, we'll play it again. And it should sound very, very, very close. However, it's going to be more comfortable. Not bad. So we set a good baseline. So the trick of it is I want that same playability. I want that same tone, only I want it with a comb that won't swell. Okay? That's what we're going to do here. You know the routine. Clear off your workbench. Let's get to it. The first step of our retrofit project is to dismantle the Marine Band 1896 harmonica. Shown here are the essential tools that I use for a successful operation. On the left side is a novel tool that I acquired many years ago when I was doing HVAC work. It's a retaining ring pliers. And what's unique about this is as you squeeze the handle, the tangs separate. And you'll see in just a moment how valuable that is. This blue handle tool is probably the one I use the most for removing those pesky miniature nails. This is called an end nipper. And this one is a tool that my son Taylor, hi Taylor, turned me on to. It's made by Pliers, manufactured in Japan. It is designed to remove broken screws where the heads of screws break off. Extremely sharp teeth on the end. So this has gotten me out of some tough situations. Vampire tools. Straight edge razor is essential. And of course, my favorite, the 3M Painter's Blue Tape. This particular one is 3/4 of an inch. Let me get cleaned up here and we'll get started. My goal is to lift the heads of the nails with as few amount as tools required. Let's see if I can do that. I'm going to start with the retaining ring plier. You'll notice I wrapped the tangs with masking tape. And the reason for that is to protect the harmonica from scratching. The first step, let's take these cover plates off. So you just insert your tangs, squeeze the pliers, and then you can see it's starting to lift off. Let's do the other side. See, it's almost there. Boom. Okay, so this tool made easy work of the blow. Let's do the draw side. Again, I'm going to insert it into this opening right in the corner here. squeeze, go over to the remaining corner, boom, and that just popped right off. Okay, good. I'm glad we got the cover plates safely off. Let's cast those aside. All right, now let's see how we can lift up the heads of these nails. I'm going to insert the tangs. I'm going to start with hole number 10 for no particular reason except by habit. And I'm going to just insert it just underneath the rivet. So I'm going about that far. Okay, squeeze, oops. All right, let me try that again. Up, there it goes. See? And just work your way down. Okay, and then the final, I'm in hole number 1. Let's see how much I could have, and I'll show you how much lift I have on this. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. So now I have a choice. I can either use my end nippers, which I like to use when it's a really super tight fit. This one I got all kinds of rooms and it pops off easily. See? Let's take a look at the van pliers. See how that does. Yeah, it just grabs the head perfectly. Okay, and that one already popped off. So there we have it. This is the blow plate. Let's put that on the side. Okay, so let's take a look here and let's examine the heads of the nail. Sometimes with this tool, and sometimes I get lucky and I'm able to pop even the ones on the bottom, but I can see here I wasn't so lucky, but that's okay. We got plenty of tools, don't we? Okay, so this is what I was referring to. So that's a tight fit. Let's get the end nipper. Like that. Oh, this is good. This is for those of you who don't have these pliers, this plier, or the van plier, but you do have this. And for years and years, this is all I had. So what I would do is insert that into the crack. See that right there? And then I'm going to lift the heel of the razor upward like a crowbar. And I don't much care about the pearwood comb because I'm just going to actually throw it away. So if I scratch it, deform it, I don't care. Okay, let's see. See how you get that razor in there? And I'm going to just lift up on it. And if the razor snaps, no problem. These are very, very inexpensive. Just grab another one. And you see how I'm working my way all the way to the edge? Let's see. Okay, so that's up high enough that I can finish the work with the pliers. Again, the goal was to just get the heads of the nail high enough that the tool can reach, grab the head. Okay, so this one is still, where is it? Right there. That one's pretty tight, but again, I'm going to refer to the end nipper. See? It gets right in there. Boom. So we safely removed the draw reed and the blow reed from the parawood comb. We're able to go to the next step. For step number 2, we're going to be aligning the blow and the draw reed plates onto the Dymalux comb. But let's take a look at this Dymalux material. Is called Amber Glow. It looks pretty cool on the surface, but when you turn it on edge, oh man, this thing is absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. So this is going to make a beautiful 1896 when we're all done. Place the blow onto the top, draw onto the bottom, and I like to align it on one side because I cut these combs perfectly to the reed plates. So let's temporarily clamp this on both sides. And then on the leading edge, I am going to place it on the flat surface and kind of press down because I want everything to line up perfectly. Double check here, double check my sides there, double check how the mouthpiece lined up. See, I'm still not satisfied with that, so I'm going to push down on that until yes. So I'm going to side it where the mouthpiece lines up right with the outer edges of the reed plates. So this is going to form a nice mouthpiece. Nice, nice, nice. Then I'm going to take this modified clamp here. It's a little 2-inch clamp, and it's going to fit in the groove perfectly, right? Yes. Okay. So there it is. And so that makes certain that everything is clamped down nice and tight on the leading edge. And then the next step, I'm going to take these little pieces of masking tape, because the tape will eventually replace the clamps, see? So the clamps was only as a temporary measure. And again, just be careful with the reeds, but it won't damage it. Okay, and then let's put one across the front. Oh, that one's said it was done. Okay, so everything across the front is now aligned. Then it's tight enough that I'm pinching the back. I'll remove the clamp. And then how about here? See, I'm trying to get between the nail holes because we need to have that exposed because we're going to be drilling out the pilot holes. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna, how about let's do this. Here, fold it back. Okay, that looks good. So one more examination from the in, back, front. Now we're ready to drill out the pilot holes into the new comb, and this is how we do it. Here are 3 methods for drilling holes. Probably everybody has a coreless drill on their bench, but the problem with the coreless drill is it's unwieldy. Very difficult to get straight holes, almost impossible to get the proper depth. My next choice would be to use a jig. This is a drill jig that you control the chuck with your hand pressure and your speed. So your holes will be straight, and you can put a piece of tape here as a stop to tell you the proper depth. I've used this for years and years. However, if you are impatient, you will get annoyed with this because it is a slow process. By far and away, the best method is the drill press. Let me show you. My preference is to use the drill press. You can control the speed. You can control the depth. See, I have this one set to go no farther than this drop. You have the flat table where you can chuck up your harmonica into a vise. This one here is my machinist vise. Keeps everything locked in tight so it won't spin off. And so when I get on with the business of drilling holes, I don't have to worry. Let's attack these holes right now. All right, sweet. So I successfully drilled pilot holes onto the Diamond combs through the blow replate. Now I'm going to release it from the vise, flip it over, and do the other side. I forgot to mention that the bit size that I chucked up is a number 60. It's quite small. And even though it looks like I'm making pilot holes, actually what my purpose is to center punch the exact location of the holes onto the Dynalux comb. And then I will step up in size the proper bit for making the pilot holes. I had already flipped the harmonica over and refastened it into the machine vise. Now I'm working on the draw side. Mission accomplished. All the holes on the blow and the draw side have been completed. Another effective method of clamping the comb for drilling is to use a flat wood stock and the blue masking tape. Works extremely well. When doing the pilot holes, use a number 56 drill bit. I'll reset this on the other side, drill out those pilot holes. So the below side of the Dynalux comb is clamped down with the tape, and we're ready to drill out the remaining 7 pilot holes. Completed. Successful. Step number 5, using clearance bit number 53, is going to be drilling out the original reed plate holes so that they're large enough that the new T3 screws will pass through. I wanted to point out that I'm facing the mating side of the reed plate up, because the way the drill bits work, it will have a tendency to blow out on the other side. So to prevent any cleanup of the burrs, do yourself a favor and just have the drill bit side and the mating side of the reed plate facing together. Now I'm going to grab the other reed plate, and we'll be able to finish the clearance holes on those. I have the draw reed plate chucked up to the machine vise, the mating surface facing towards the drill bit. We have 7 remaining clearance holes. Perfect. Perfect. Now we can go to the bench and lay that up on our new Dynalux comb. The screws that I specified for this Marine Band 1896 retrofit project requires a Torx, a T3 driver, also known as a 6-lobe, and that nests perfectly in the small head. And that's why I specified this particular one, because I wanted the head of it to be slightly larger than the original Marine Band miniature nail. Also unique is the thread pitch. This is a 0.35 thread pitch, which was specified for plastic. And because our Dynalux comb is infused with resin, which is plastic, it marries up absolutely perfect. So let's get it installed. From a maintenance standpoint, you HARPTechs are going to appreciate this architecture, distinctly different from the Marine Band Deluxe and the crossover. You can work independently on each reed plate because they're fastened separately. Pretty cool stuff. Watching me install 14, 7 on each side, fasteners, well, that's like watching paint dry. So I'm going to go ahead and off camera, I'm going to get these fasteners installed. I'll catch you on the flip side. Torqued into place, you can see the T3 fasteners, the screws, I use the word interchangeably, aren't that much larger than the original Marine Band 1896 nails. Very, very cool. I'm liking the way this is moving along. So the last step is to get our cover plates fitted with the clearance holes so that we can mount it on the harmonica. So for you Marine Band aficionados, have you ever noticed that the miniature nails on the cover plates actually look like screws? See how it has the slots? That's to fake you out. They're not screws, they're just simply the nails, and they're distinctly different than the ones they use on the replates, by the way. Thought you should know. But we're going to be removing them using our end nippers. I find that works the best. And remember, this is stainless steel. It is now. It wasn't originally. It was chrome over tin before, but now, because of the laws with lead, they're using stainless steel, which I like better because it doesn't rust. But it makes working on them more challenging. So I'll show you my workaround after burning out so many drill bits. I'll show you another perfect way to make holes in the cover plate. Okay, so we remove the miniature nails from the cover plates. The final step. For you harp techs interested in customizing cover plates, this hand punch is a terrific investment. You can change the pins to accommodate the different holes. What I have on this unit right now is 1/16 of an inch. You can see the die on the back side here, and then the punch drops down and makes a perfect 1/16 inch hole. I'll prove it to you. It's a little unwieldy underneath my camera here, but let me get it in position first. Can you see that? Okay, and once you land it onto the pilot hole, which remember was already made by the original nail hole, and I'm just simply going to squeeze. That's it. And there it is, a perfect 1/16 hole. Let me do the remaining ones. Okay, that one is that one is done. So we got the draw side. Oops, let's see, did I? Yeah, we got the draw side all knocked out, all 4 holes. So I'm now moving on to the blow plate, lining up the pin, dead center, squeeze. Man, this makes easy work of it. Because doing with the drill bit style, you know what I'm talking about. You tend to make for jagged cuts that you have to clean up. Looks terrible. And then final. Okay, so we're done with this amazing hand punch. And it does deform it a little bit. No problem. Remember this tool, the brass lined pliers that I use for my 0 point? This works perfect. So you just line that up, squeeze. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. And then finally, this one. Okay, so we prepared the blow and the draw cover plates. Now we'll make the pilot holes onto the comb and get those screws installed. So I drilled the pilot holes with a number 53 bit as before, and now I'm attaching and torquing the last of the T3 cover plate screws. And man, this is looking factory. Look at that. That looks pretty amazing, actually. And look at that mouthpiece. Woo! Yeah, let's give it a beautiful comb. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to head back to the power table over there just to tidy up, do a little bit more buffing. I'll meet you over there. Everything went really well on the bench. It was a successful retrofit project. Let's give it a listen to see if I was able to preserve the spirit of this marine band. Yeah, actually, I was hearing a slight improvement. Maybe it was my playing, but I attribute that to the extra air tightness. You know, the fasteners, those T3 fasteners that I sourced from Germany, have a special point, not to get too geeky, but a special 0.35 millimeter thread pitch on there, designed for plastic. But you see, this wood veneer is infused with plastic. And so that's why I say this is going to, I think, work out really well for those of you who service your harmonica. So you're going to be taking it apart from time to time. You're not going to have any problems with it stripping. I like that. I like it so much that I'm convinced that I'm going to do a limited run. I'm going to do two different types. I'm going to do the blanks, which look like this. So the blanks are going to be no holes. That's going to be up to you to put the holes in there, the pilot holes, right? The clearance holes. I showed you how to do that. And of course I will provide, because the screws are difficult to get, and so I'll provide the screws. But I'm also going to run a batch of what I call plug and play. You're familiar with this. There is no shortage of comb providers out there that make it in so many different materials, shapes, and sizes. So this is the standard for those of you who want to retrofit your Marine Band Deluxe and your Marine Band 1896. Oh, crossover, right? This will fit the crossover quite nicely. These are not shown on my HARPSMITH website. If you are interested in retrofitting your harmonicas, or you're interested in trying out a HARPSMITH harmonica, contact me at kenya@harpsmith.com so we can have a conversation about it, so we can select the colors and the patterns that you really want. But for now, geez, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you like the content, let me know. I respond to almost all of my comments. Click on the subscribe. As the channel gets more and more content, you're going to find there's going to have more things for you to binge over. But for now, remember, play the notes people want to hear.